Welcome back to Insight. Dave Farnbaugh joins us from Sweeney Law Firm, and you're telling me there's some misperceptions people might have as far as damages go in a lawsuit.
Well, Dirk, there's a lot of misconceptions, I think, particularly when we get to wrongful death in a minute. But in a typical personal injury case, I think most people are familiar with recovering your medical expenses or your lost wages. Those are the most common, or pain and suffering. I think most people are familiar with those types of damages. If you get into a more serious case, we try to recover what we call impairment of earning capacity. If you have permanent disabilities that affect your ability to carry on your career or your chosen profession, we can recover damages in the future for the impairment of your ability to work and earn money in the future. Some cases involve disfigurement or those types of damages. So those are the most common ones in just a conventional personal injury case. In a wrongful death case, we get into a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people think in a wrongful death case that we recover money for the suffering that the person who passed away experienced before they died, and that's not true.
Okay.
The damages in a wrongful death case are the damages to the surviving spouse or the surviving children. It's the harm to them of being deprived of the relationship going forward as a result of the wrongful death.
Yeah, that does surprise me. I would think there would be something for the victim, I guess.
In Indiana, we don't have any recovery for the conscious pain and suffering of someone that experienced death as a result of negligence. There's no recovery for that. The
other phrase I think that we hear just from watching TV, or sometimes it's even in the news, is the punitive damages, which are we widely misinformed about those?
Punitive damages, there's a lot of misconception about that. In Indiana, punitive damages are almost never recoverable. And interestingly, in the state of Indiana, 75% of the money, if you do get punitive damages, 75% of the money goes to the state of Indiana. And,
I would think they would be.
The remaining 25% is taxed. In a normal personal injury case or a wrongful death case, there are no tax consequences. There's no state or federal tax to somebody that gets damages in a personal injury or wrongful death case. But if you get an award for punitive damages, that is taxed.
Again, that doesn't seem. So it seems like, though, these things really vary from state to state.
They really do. Like I said, Indiana, for a variety of reasons, we almost never recover punitive damages in any kind of a case. But in other states, punitive damages are somewhat common.
Are these things set up ahead of time, or is there just general guidelines about like what sort of injuries will pay what sort of damages?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to say, there's any sort of a grid for damages because it's just so unique to each case. So, there's not a lot of uniformity with damage awards.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating topic because I think we tend to hear the cases of one extreme or the other, where somebody, basically won the lottery or versus, they received nothing. I would assume most of it is right there in the middle, and that's why we don't hear.
Right. The cases that get a lot of publicity are these verdicts that are for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Most of the time, those verdicts are never collected. There's not enough insurance coverage to recover those damages, or those cases go up on appeal, and the Court of Appeals knocks that award down to a more reasonable amount. So those big verdicts get a lot of publicity, but often they're never actually collected.
You can learn a whole lot more on their brand new website, which is worth checking out. SweeneyLawFirm.com is where you can head over. SweeneyLawFirm.com. Give them a call there as well. We will be right back on Insight.